So met with the girl yesterday, talked a bit. She gave me her number, so we kept talking a bit on WhatsApp. Then today, she messaged me, and I'm like, I forget exactly what it was, but basically, it's like, I asked, hey, you want to go on a date? And she's like, sure. I'm like, okay, when? She's like, oh, today, I'm free. I'm like, oh, okay, what time? She like sent through your location. I'm like, oh, yeah. Like, it might be there in an hour with the time I get ready and get there. So, show up there. And like, what do you want to do? She's like, oh, we can go into the shopping center that's nearby. There's like restaurants and stuff. So like, we go there. Then we like grab a drink at the restaurant that's there. And she like dumps it down in 2 minutes. And she's like, should we get the check? Okay. So we get the check and while I finish my drink. And I'm like, what do you want to do? She's like, oh, we want to go back to your place. I'm like, in my head, I'm like, okay, that was quick. And by the way, when like I first met her, I'm like, yeah, she doesn't look like her pictures. Like not that she's like fat and she looked good in her pictures or anything, it's just she looks different, like hair way different and not in the ways is like, hardy, not as not what I would expect. But I'm like, hey, whatever, like okay, we'll see what happens. So I'm expecting us to be like really for sure judge. She gets in the constant taxi. And the plan is she goes back to her place and I go back to my place. So we were together for maybe like 20 minutes. So I had to get a taxi there, get a taxi to the shopping center, and now a taxi back to my place. It cost me like $20 and wasted a couple hours of my life and I'm just sitting in the taxi like, what the fuck just happened right there?
How's it going?
Pretty good. Way better today than yesterday.
That was a weird start, like a weird date. I mean, what an asshole move.
I mean, it was so weird that normally I'd be like, okay, screw her, whatever. I'm just not going to contact her again. But it was so weird that I'm like, no, no, like I need an explanation for this. It's just so weird. And she's like, oh, I had something to do at home that I forgot, and my sister was calling me. But I'm just like, okay, I'm never going to see her again, never going to talk to her again. But at least now I have an explanation. It doesn't make up for anything, but at least there's a somewhat of a reason behind it. Still very strange.
That's wild.
So weird that normally I'd be like, or whatever, I'm just not going to contact her. Why do I hear myself talking? I don't like, I need an explanation for this. It's
Oh,
so weird. And she's like, oh, I had something to do
I
at home.
must have had the volume up for the stream.
I'm like, okay, am I going completely insane?
Yeah, I've been hearing faint stuff in the background, which has been from the stream, I guess, because I was hearing you talk earlier. I was like, is somebody talking? Because I was playing your message from last night, listening to it earlier before you got on, and then I was hearing this stuff talking. I'm like, Guillaume's not on yet. Like, I'm not listening to any music or anything. It's like this is really strange. But yeah, I guess I just had the stream up, and it's like I'm like a minute delayed. It's funny.
Yeah, I don't know why lately. Last couple of days have been very weird dating wise. I had a date the day before yesterday,
Mhm.
and we agreed to everything Monday at a certain place, certain time. And the morning of, I'm like, I'm gonna check in just to make sure we're still on because it'd been like 3, 4 days since we last spoke.
Mhm.
So I just wanted to check, and I'm like, no response. Then maybe like an hour, like 2 hours before, I messaged her like I didn't get a response, so I'm assuming we're still on. I'll see you there.
Mhm.
And then I'm on my way there trying to get a taxi, and I just can't get a taxi. I'm literally walking for half an hour trying to get a taxi, and every single taxi that drives by is already like busy. Like eventually gets to the point where it's like, all right, I haven't heard from her in like 3, 4 days. I can't get a taxi. I need to be there in 5 minutes, but it's going to take me 20 minutes to get there. So even if I do get a taxi, I'll be late. She's probably not going to be there. So I just messaged her like, yeah, I haven't heard. Can't get a taxi, so I'm assuming that you're not going to show up. And then she messages me like a couple hours later saying like, oh, sorry, I completely forgot about it. Okay. And then ironically, that same day I matched with a different girl on Tinder. So I'm like, oh, okay, I lost one, but got one. And
Mhm.
I don't remember, it might have been the girl from yesterday. I'm not 100% sure. I don't remember exactly, but I think it was. It's like, then I go on a date with the other girl the next day, which is a complete like disaster. And then on the taxi ride back from that one, I get a match with a different girl, and I'm like, okay, they just keep getting substituted, but they're not getting any better. So I'm like, I don't know what I should do at this point.
All right, let's see. Let's. What is your profile on Tinder like?
Very cocky, just because that's how I am like playful and I flirt, just because like it's more fun that way. Actually, hold on, I can go on it right now and read it. That'll be super embarrassing. But I love to embarrass myself, so let's do it. All right. All right. So here's the description. I will not hold myself back just because other may feel intimidated by my greatness.
So about me, I'm driven, ambitious, and willing to suffer for what I believe in. I'm tall, dark, and handsome, and then in brackets, you wouldn't be reading this if it weren't true. I can build a house with my bare hands, and then in brackets, sexy, right? And then about you, you're attractive, and then in brackets, let's not pretend like looks don't matter. And you know what you want, and in brackets, none of this, I'm not sure if I'm ready to date bullshit because it's happened more than once. I'm like, I feel a need to include that. So it's kind of like a representation of who I am, but in a cocky, hopefully funny
Yeah.
manner. Like if people just think that I'm cocky, it's like you don't have a sense of humor. I probably don't want to talk to you anyway. And the thing is, like, it's always very tricky when dating in, I mean, Central and South America, just because as a gringo, some people are like, I just want to date you because you're a gringo and maybe you can, provide a better life or at least, pay for some shit while we're dating.
Mm-hmm.
Other people are actually interested. So sometimes it's hard to tell the difference.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, I don't think that's what it was yesterday because it seems very weird, but it seems like, okay, so you got me to waste like 2 to 3 hours of my time, spent like over $20 because you wanted a drink. That's what it seems like. It's like it doesn't make sense to like be on an app and like match and then talk and then the next day let's go out and then just go for a drink, gulp it down, and go home. Like that doesn't make sense. I don't think that's actually what happened, but it's kind of like how it seems. I'm like, that's very, very strange.
You might not think that's what happened, but that is what happened.
It is, but I don't think that was the intention. That's what
Might
I mean.
not, yeah, might not have been the intention, but it's
Just
possible.
it doesn't. It seems so weird, like to go through all that trouble for like one iced tea. Like I don't get it. Like it's so ridiculous. I like who would do that? No one would do that.
Maybe maybe that was like her. Maybe it was like a dare. It's like you should go out with somebody, just like get something to drink and then leave.
But the funniest thing is after like I got an explanation and like, okay, I understand. Like, um, it was definitely the shortest date of my life. In fact, so short, I don't know if it can be considered as a date. But anyway, it was nice. Like, it was a pleasure to meet you for 20 minutes. And then she responded like, "Oh, same with like that like blushing face with the hearts." And I'm like, "You didn't realize that the last message was me basically saying bye forever?" I'm just like very confused by her behavior. uh, but that's kind of what's fun about dating. You get crazy stories like that.
Speaking of crazy stories, oh man, one of my friends wrote his autobiography in the last like month or two. He or a memoir or something, and it got me to thinking. Like I've been thinking about this for a little while, but I haven't been seriously considering it. Now that we're kind of like wrapping up the marketing and stuff, and we may, I don't know how much effort it's going to take to like start making regular sales, but it feels like once we have a process, like that'll kind of shrink down to like, okay, I got to do this today, and then once I've done that, I'm done. And so then I feel like feels like some bandwidth maybe coming up here soon. But what I was going to say is like I have been turning this idea over and over in the back of my mind for a little while now. And we mentioned it for the first time a long time ago, but I've been thinking about writing a book about me as a manifestation exercise. So instead of making a vision board, it's like, what if I wrote the story of my life? It's like this happened to me when I was young, and then I learned this, and then this happened, and then like, and it's like from the point now until like if I wrote it, it's like, and then I got to this point in my life, like where I am right now, and I knew I had to do like, and something changed everything, and that thing was like, maybe that thing is like I wrote a book from the past predicting the future or something. But it's like then you start telling the story like how everything starts kind of falling into place and exactly what you want your life to look like. I was like, I just really I feel like there's something really interesting about that, of like letting your mind go to that creative space and like writing it down. And then I don't know if I'm going to go as far as like publishing it, but like I think it would be pretty cool to say like this is a list of what I'm working on, but not as like a to-do list. It's like this is the story of how it's going to play out, or this is how I'm aiming for it. And so instead of saying like, oh yeah, I have this goal of I'm going to do X, Y, Z, and it's just talk. It's like how many people write their thing as a book and say, this is what's going to happen. So I don't know. I feel like out of all the things that I have available to me, like my creativity and being able to write stuff and tell good stories, I feel like I almost like that process, getting into that flow would almost like help me like uncover or zero in on like, oh snap, like I didn't even see like in between kind of like all of the options. It's like there's this little piece that I hadn't even thought about that could become what my life is. And I'm like, I don't know, it just seems like an interesting project. And I feel like I've been thinking about that for a while now.
I think it would be a fun experiment, like you're saying, and I don't think it would play out anything like the way you're expecting. But I suspect that we'd be able to look at the two and be like, okay, I foretold this and this was different, but it was caused by that. Like connect everything. So even though most of what you predicted or you thought would happen didn't happen, you believing it would led to what actually happened.
Yeah. I think it would also be really super interesting to start being like I'm not super attracted by or like like I don't feel a need to experiment a ton with like lucid dreaming or that kind of thing. Like it's a cool idea and like for people that are into that, that's neat. But like I do think it would be interesting to like start paying more attention to the dreams that I have, because in a way it's sort of like that's sort of raw, unfiltered creativity, and it's like what if I just like wrote those things down, sort of as like a dream journal. It's like without coming to the table without being like with any explanation or like, oh, this means this and that means that, and so that it's sort of like as things kind of happen to you in your life, then you can kind of go back and look and see, you know, what is there any correlation between your creative scrambledness and the stuff that happens in your life.
You know what would be really cool? Having a daily journal, but you write for the future. So let's say you're like, all right, every day I'm going to write in my journal, but I'm writing for what's going to happen that day, 90 days from now. So you write your every single entry in the journal 90 days in the future. And whenever you get to that date, you look back at what you wrote.
Oh, that would be cool. Like the time loop experiment. It's like if you're I really like that.
We've experienced with, and we'd have to test to see what that time delay is, but we always like float and we come up with an idea and then forget it.
Mm-hmm.
And like 3 months later, it pops up and we're like, oh, remember that thing?
Mm-hmm.
It's like, what if journaling worked that way? And we could decide like, all right, it takes on average 90 days.
Mm-hmm.
We're just gonna write everything 90 days in the future and like look back, see exactly when things happen. That would be really cool.
Yeah. I feel like that would be a really good idea. I almost feel like you could do that with our floaching sessions, like summary of the things that we talked about, and then put that in the description in the video, like if we're streaming this to Facebook or something, and then it's just like every day Facebook's like, hey, on this day 1 year ago, you did blah 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 blah. This could be really interesting.
Just thinking like as an experiment, this would be really cool. So it could be like every day you write two things. Like one journal is like 90 days in the future. The other one is what actually happened that day. And you do that for a year. And then at the end of the year, you go back and kind of like adjust by 90 days and compare every entry.
Oh, dude. It's so stupid. I mean, this is what journals are. Is like it's a tool for like sculpting and predicting the future. I mean, this is why you set like goals, break them down like by quarter or by month, and then you work it down to the like, what do I need to do today? And so then you write down your agenda for the following day. It's like you're predicting the future, but you're sort of presetting and pre-programming. This is what I want to happen, so my brain will figure out what do I need to do to get in the space where I can go do these things based on what I already have access to, what I know of. So it's almost like you could run a split test of like, if I pick like, okay, 7 days in the future, 1 month in the future, and 90 days in the future, this is what I want to happen, and then you just leave it alone. It's like, I'm not working towards these goals, I'm not doing anything. It's like, I'm just gonna write the future as if it's happening, and then go back and see how much of that happened, and then compare and see, like, do you actually need to do the work of breaking down stuff like people tell you need to, like in standard organizational journaling? Or can you just say, oh, this is what I want, this is my like magical, genie pages, just write it down and then watch what happens? And it's like the essence of what you really want shows up without you trying. I don't know. Like, it's
I'm like, that would be a fun experiment, but I know myself and I'm way too lazy to do that. That's the thing. Like the few times I did journaling for some like period of time, whether it's a couple months or whatever, it's just like every time I'm forcing myself to write stuff because I'm like, nothing happened today. Like one sentence, and I'm like, this is a waste of time. That could be a really fun study. Like take a group of people, like, I don't know, let's say 100 people if you can, and get them to do this for a year, and then get a team to study the data.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, maybe it's already been done.
That would be interesting. It's like, has anybody done a time travel thing?
Oh, apparently future self-journaling is a thing.
Future self journaling. Hmm. Okay.
Apparently, future self journaling is exactly what it sounds like, but apparently not, because my definition was different. Conversating, that just sounds weird. I would say conversing. Anyway, it involves conversating with your future self as you would with a close friend or similar confidant. Future self journaling can be practiced by writing letters to your future self or making a list of future goals. Like, it's not really what we're talking about, but it's like,
Nope. I would rather like stuff from the future like comes backwards and like informs what I'm doing today. Okay, so what would 90 days from now, like, these stories of like we scaled from $0 to $90,000 a month in 90 days. It's like, what would those guys who stumbled into success be like? This was the idea. This is the thing that's gonna like leverage us out of the stupid life that we have into like a different level of.
to a different level of stupid life. We're still getting
right. It's like from our tiny stupid life to our huge stupid life.
to give a whole new meaning to dumb luck.
Yeah, so what would those guys tell these guys?
Dude, don't work so hard. I was kidding. I was making a joke, but that's actually true.
All right, let's not work today. Oh, by the way, like on that note, Sarah has an appointment at 1, so I need to go like in an hour and a half, maybe like a little under 2 hours, because I'm gonna go watch the girls. So
That's perfect because on Thursday you're the one giving the webinar, not me. So. Although to be fair, I haven't heard from the girl that I'm supposed to have a date with 2 days, so may not have a date after all.
By the way,
I don't know anymore.
by the way, is the presentation in the Google Drive folder the latest?
I uploaded the link.
Okay. So I'm gonna go through that and you froze, so I don't know.
I was like, why did you talk? Did you stop talking?
Yeah, you're just like that. So I don't know what you said. So I quit talking.
Fair enough. I mean,
Yeah, so you had said that the PowerPoint in Google Drive is up to date.
yeah, every time we do modifications, I delete the old one and upload the new one. And sometimes I'm
perfect.
Back and delete the new one and upload the old one. Because
well, I have Justin
Timberlake.
Is what's that?
Timberlake. Okay, go ahead.
That would be cool to be friends with Justin Timberlake.
I thought you were going to say Justin Bieber. I'm like, no, don't say that. Please don't say that. Yeah, Timberlake seems like a cool dude. Bieber seems like a complete douche.
He went through like puberty and like mid-teen years in public, which I feel like most teenagers are pretty much assholes. So
I don't blame him. It's just, and he's probably like a somewhat decent guy in normal life.
Mm-hmm.
But because of his celebrity, it just turned him into an asshole.
Yeah, I think he's kind of like finding himself now. Or he did an event that I was at before we moved out here. They volunteered for a big Christian concert where a whole bunch of churches in the area went and like picked up trash and did a bunch of community service, like all coordinated on the same day. But he talked about how during COVID he had nothing to do and he was kind of like locked in, and he stayed most of the year indoors with this Christian couple, and they were like really nice to him, really like a good influence on him, and he I don't know how really like spiritual or like conscious he is, but it sounds like it made him really look at himself a little bit differently and start on that kind of like maturing path of like,
Wait, is
what am I
he a
doing
born
with life?
Christian?
What's that?
He a born again Christian?
I don't know. I'm not sure if he would say that, but he talked about like trying to read the Bible and trying to ask better questions and stuff like that. So it's sort of like he's looking for something, which good for him. But
Yeah. It would just be funny if he becomes like super like hyper religious and it's like, really, that's the direction you chose to go in. It's like you didn't become any better, you just became bad in a different way. Like, not to say that bad, but like just like people were like so extreme of like, no, everyone but me is wrong. I need to help you. I need to save you. Like that would be
yeah.
so. It'd be funny.
So
Oh, I just had a creepy thought of like him in 20, 30 years, like because right now he has like that pedophile mustache. I'm like, I could actually see him becoming a pedophile because he's trying to recapture. I'm like, I really hope that doesn't happen. But if that happened, I'd be like, yeah, that makes sense. Unfortunately. I don't know why my mind went there. Probably because of his mouth.
90 days from today is the literal day before Thanksgiving in the United States.
Wow.
So if we wrote,
So that means 2 days before Black Friday. We have 90 days and then we have our Black Friday sale.
nice, dang, that could be like our first like
Black Friday sale. It's $996.
that could be our first like $20,000 or $30,000 day.
Yeah, because if we like get good enough that we've proven we've sold some, we know it works, and it's like, all right, if we want to do this, we're like, all right, it's 50% off, so 497. And it's like, let's just try to get as many people in it as possible. That would be really cool.
Damn.
I feel like that's the thing. We're just getting started. So the first step is getting a few sales. Then it's kind of like start to perfect the process and get to the place where we automate, and then we can do like relaunches, like especially near the end of the year, because there's like Thanksgiving, there's Christmas, there's so many different like occasions to promote that people are like, oh, it's Black Friday, it's Boxing Day, it's whatever, you know?
Yeah. Dang. It's so funny because like when you're super zoomed into what you're doing, it's so hard to have context. But it's like we're wrapping up this thing that we've been working on for a couple months, and it's like, oh man, it feels like we're done. But when you zoom out and you look at it, it's like we're just getting started. It's like right now is not the time to slow down. It's like it's time to speed up. It's like now we have something we can sell. Now it's like how many people can we put it in front of that we're not going to be spamming? It's like how many people can we say, hey, we have this thing that actually might really help you. Would you look at it and tell us what you think? And just like practicing like what do people need to hear in order for them to say, yeah, that is what I need, or but you know what would make it actually work for me is this. If we just spent the next week, like few weeks, continuing to pitch it and refine it and pitch it and refine it and pitch it and refine it, by the time we get to that, it's like that last month, be like, all right, who are all the people who have big audiences? What can we do to make this really valuable for the audience owners, for the people involved, to make it like a stupid, like make you feel so dumb. It's like, even if I like almost don't need this, but like it kind of sounds good. It's like, this is such a good deal. Like I just kind of should do it anyway, and maybe I'll find a way to use it or something. But it's like,
Yeah, I feel like we don't need to focus ahead of time, but my brain does go ahead and I'm like, okay, if we're shooting to launch the pre-recorded version, let's say January 1st, then we use like the month of December, like all the promotions in there. So like Black Friday, Boxing Day, all those things. And it's like, this is about to launch. It's going to be double the price. And even if we want, we can be like, it's going to be double the price, but we're cutting this currently discounted price in half. It's like, you can wait and get the pre-recorded version without any of these bonuses for 2,000, or you can get all of this for 500. Like, if we do this right, we can make a crap ton of money before launching the actual course.
yeah.
But I think like, yeah, that's more like future stuff. So my brain's like, yeah, okay, that's a possibility. What do we need to do now to make that happen?
I think the actual answer to that question of what do we need to do right now is you and I need to be lean super hard into the people that you and I are, which is, we're really good storytellers. We're people who love jumping out and playing with ideas and like letting ourselves feel unrestricted for periods, so that when we come back down and like do some work, it's like we kind of know what we're doing, we're excited about it. And so like it feels like we've been in this grind period of like build, like put your nose to the grindstone, like just, it's sort of like it's kind of like giving blood. It's like, this is a nice thing to do. I'm doing it, like I'm allowing it to happen, but it's sort of like, is it my favorite thing to do? No. Is it like a good thing to do? Probably. Is it something I would do all the time? Definitely not. And I feel like that's kind of what like the work part of executing stuff is for me. It's like the part that really fuels me is like the dreaming and inventing and coming up with like what could be possible from here. And then like the doing it is just kind of like the exercise of, well, I know that's an actual possibility, so I don't need to do it, but like actually doing it is the thing that lets other people see that it's possible. So it's sort of like we kind of have to do this like to prove to other people that it's possible to do it, and for us to like get the money part of the thing that's possible. But it's sort of like we could do whatever we wanted if we wanted to.
Yeah, because we're about to enter the promotion phase. And there's so many different ways. It's like, go like, hey, let's try to go on many podcasts, like YouTube channels and places like that possible. Or go more focused and try to find the audience. We can go in Facebook groups, we can do solo ads, we can do like paid ads. It's like there's so much to do, and my brain's just like, what do we focus on? But I think you have the answer.
I don't have the answer, but I do have an idea. The t-shirt promotional idea, we should totally do that. It's like, as soon as we start getting people into our program, like every time we do a presentation for a group, we should find a way to squeeze that into like, hey, send us a picture of your favorite shirt. Like, why do you like it? Like, tell us the story of your favorite t-shirt. And then just like start collecting that data, so that like maybe on Black Friday we can do like a physical product launch / giveaway / like whatever we're gonna do. But like Sarah has, like, that's the business that she's been working on, and she's actually starting to make some like organic sales on her thing. But it's like she can drop ship all kinds of physical products like mugs, apparel, jewelry, that kind of stuff. And the hard part for that business is finding out what's going to sell. But if your market literally tells you, this is what I want to buy, then you have no problem. So then you're making whatever the markup is on the physical product. So it would be really interesting to figure out, like, zero in on what is the identity of the people that we're helping and have them literally tell us, like, what kind of physical products do you buy, like, that you would be like, I would so buy that if it was real.
I think it's coming up. First of all, is when you said mugs, that reminded me of an idea my friend and I had, I don't know, a couple of years ago. And we're like, what if we created like a business where people send us like their picture, we put it on a mug and send it back, and it's a mug shot. So it's like we put their picture like behind bars, like in
I really love that. The research, customized products where they give you the thing that they want on it, and usually it's like very highly structured. So it's like, send us a photo of your kids, or send us a picture of your pet or something. But in some way you allow them to customize it, so it's like it's their thing, so it's what they want. And because it's customized, you can charge higher for it. But like, that is a great idea. We should make that as a as a funny gift. I bet you that would sell.
like I'm wondering if we're jumping ahead, because like, okay, doing a physical product is fine, like getting feedback and creating the thing that most people would like, we can automate that pretty easily. But if we have to custom do everything, I'm like, that seems exhausting. Even if we find a fulfillment company, it just seems very complicated to pull off.
Yeah, the customized thing is more, a little bit more work, but there's like systems and processes for that. The, like, having a design that everybody says, like, I would buy that design, is probably the way to do it.
Okay, I think my brain is going, because so far it's like I've been doing like, you know, the back end of the business, so the funnel and everything, and I'm like, this is part of the back end. I don't want to do this. So if you want to do it, sure, let's do it 100%. I'm just like, I don't want to deal with that.
There's something.
But I'm wondering.
This is a question I want to start asking myself more often. Hey, this turned off. Wonder why that turned off so fast. I saw a clip of this old guy who presumably is a billionaire. But the guy interviewing him asked him, it's like, hey, what's the difference between a millionaire and a billionaire? And this guy, he said,
like one letter.
And what he said was, a millionaire knows how to make money. A billionaire works to make other people money. And so he said, so why is it that I'm not a billionaire? He said, because you think like a millionaire. So if you're constantly thinking about, like, how do I make the money? How do I create the outcome or whatever? It's like, that's one level of creativity, of creating value. But it's like, I'm starting to wonder, like, how do we do everything that we're doing? It's like, we want to make money. It's like, okay, here's the strategy. How do we do it in a way that automatically benefits somebody? It doesn't necessarily mean it has to make the money, but it's like, it could grow their audience. It could grow somebody's credibility. It could, connect people with better relationships. How do we make sure that there's always like 2 or 3 levels of some sort of value happening in our business? And it's not like we have to answer that question right this moment, but I'm like, I think that would be a useful, like, just paradigm to have wired into my brain. It's like, how can I do what I'm doing
And I
and
think
also have it help people just automatically by default?
hold on, this reminds me of something. Let me just check. Uh, all right. You know that profit pulling trifecta document that I uploaded a while back?
Yeah.
That's their strategy. It's like, it's $3,000, but you just pay $15,000 to lock it in. And then when you hit $50,000 plus with our system, you pay the remainder of the balance. That like is very guaranteed. You're like, I mean, it's not that much, $1,500. And it's like, well, I'm willing to potentially gamble $1,500 if in order to get the second half, I need to make $50,000. But at the same time, it's like, well, maybe they just wanted to like, charge $1,500 and they're just giving that, make it seem more valuable. Like, I don't think that's what they're doing. These guys are very professional. They want to help people. But from the buyer's perspective, that's what's going through their mind. It's like, it seems like a really good offer, but at the same time, maybe that's just like a trick. But it's just like it goes, like it leans into what you were talking about, like guaranteed. It's like, hey, it's 3,000, but you pay half now, and you don't pay the rest until you've made $50,000. It's like that's a pretty good offer. I think this principle works really well, like, guaranteeing them results. I don't know if we can do this right now because we're getting started. We need to test things out. But it's like, I think once we get consistent results, we could make this even more irresistible.
Yeah.
Being like, hey, you buy this, it's $10,000. You have a 365-day guarantee that if you don't make your money back and more within that time, we'll refund everything. So it's literally like risky. When we're able to do that, and it's like we're guaranteeing you money. Go ahead.
I learned an interesting lesson from watching Brian launch CrowdScale. It started with about 60 members, less than that because some of them were admins and me. So it's probably just over 50 people like that were paying members that were paying at least $100 a month. It dropped down to about 20 something members, like just slowly over like 3 or 4 months, like people slowly saying, hey, I'm like, this isn't the right fit for me. Like I want to stop my subscription. But like the amount of like resistance to like getting a refund, like people really dragged their feet. People were very reticent to like give up, so to speak. So it's like once you're in, you already have like a certain amount of mental commitment where if you ask for a refund, you're going back on sort of like, well, I don't believe in myself. So I almost feel like the guarantee is sort of irrelevant to what we can deliver. It's almost like if this gives you one more piece of added confidence in your ability to follow through and do something, like our system that's really easy and simple, it's like we'll promise this result, and then if you aren't happy or if you don't feel like that's right. Like we'll give you a refund, but it's like the refund rate, even for something like CrowdScale, where there was almost no interaction and support and clarity. Like it was very, very messy, very scattered, and it's like there was a lot of things I would have done differently if it was me. I would have communicated a little bit differently. I would have probably promised less and like had a little bit more follow up and that sort of thing, or like that's what I imagine I would do. Um, but even with that, which I'll just say like with a bad experience, like people were bought in when they invested, and it was like it was difficult for them to leave, even though it was like all of the data was kind of stacked. And it's like, well, this isn't exactly what was promised, and it's probably going to be a long time before it gets there. And if you were excited because you just wanted that outcome, even the promise of like not being delivered on was sort of like the people that asked for a refund, they weren't even like super angry. They didn't make a big stink. It was like it was sort of like this resigned. Anyway, the point is, I wonder if you have an actual good offer where it's like you're being clear about here's what you're delivering, and for something like this, like a course, it feels like there's a clear enough deliverable, and we should be able to make some some good promises about, especially if you put in a proviso like it's like, we expect you to do a certain amount of work to be able to get a refund. It's like if you're not going to finish all the homework assignments, it's like obviously you don't qualify for a refund.
I don't know though, because the one time I've experienced that like refund with condition was program
Mm-hmm.
virtual code.
Mm-hmm.
Had that, like I realized like no, not wanted it. It was like ask refund, manage my thing. Like I went through the video just to take like quick notes so I could get like people want to that as like life force people
Mm-hmm.
to do it. If anything, leave like bitter, like they force me to do the extra work. That
I'm not. I think I got the gist of what you said. Your audio is cutting in now for some reason.
is this better?
A little bit, yeah. Yeah, but no, I hear what you're saying. It's like I think the resistance to getting a refund is probably should be like really streamlined. I wouldn't make that a requirement necessarily. I think I just mean in terms of like managing their expectations of like
Yeah.
we're promising you're going to get this kind of result, but if you're not going to do the work, it's like obviously we can't make that promise if you haven't even tried. That I don't think that necessarily needs to be a requirement for them to be able to get their money back. If they really make up their minds, it's like, you know what, I changed my mind. This isn't what I want. It's like if there's no reason to hold somebody hostage if they don't want to be there.
Yeah, I guess that's the thing. It's okay to put like certain stipulations, but our policy should always be if someone wants a refund, we'll give them the refund no matter what. There's 2 times where I asked for a refund and they made me work for it, or they flat out refused. And I'm like, well, you just lost all respect. And I'm never, ever, ever going to buy from you again.
Yeah.
Even if this just wasn't a right fit, maybe I would have bought something else in the future. And now you just ruined it and you made me lose all respect.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't want to do that ever to anyone. And I'm not suggesting like that's what you were saying. I'm just saying like,
Yeah.
that's the issues I've come across when there is certain stipulation.
Mm-hmm.
To me, it's just like lack of, not professionalism, just a lack of respect.
Mhm.
It's like, virtual coach, like, fine, okay, like I got the refund, I had to do the work, it was annoying, but it's not the end of it. The other one was for the affiliate marketing thing that I was in. It's like he announces like, hey, I'm seriously considering changing the model to a monthly thing. And I'm like, okay, but I just purchased like multiple thousands of dollars to buy into your program to be able to resell it.
Mhm.
If it goes to monthly, you're basically shooting my profits down to like nothing. It's like,
Mhm.
you didn't give me an option. So it's only fair that I would get a refund. And they're like, nope, 30 days are gone, you're screwed. It's like, that just made me lose all respect. Even though he's super successful, like he's one of the few people who's in the Two Comma Club C award.
Mhm.
It's like, okay, you may have made like hundreds of millions of dollars online, still lost all respect for you. I don't know. Sorry, that was a rant.
Yeah.
There was no point to it. But I think it's good when you see stuff like that. Of like people, even people who are super successful. It's like, I don't want to be like that.
Mhm.
It's like same with Elon Musk. Like he's the richest man alive. Like he seems like an asshole to me from what I've heard. I would never want to be his friend or work for him or have anything to do with him. Very impressive. I admire what he's done, but I don't like him as a person. So yeah, it's nice to be able to kind of have that, I don't know, that ability to differentiate. Because a lot of people are like, they're successful, I worship the ground they walk on. And they don't have that, I don't know, the step, like the distance to be able to judge objectively.
Mhm.
And I guess, I don't know what it is. Maybe because I've done the work. It's like, I look at people like Tony Robbins and I'm like, just some guy that I'm like, yeah, okay, whatever. You have like a little too much like energy, not in a good way.
Mhm.
It's like, hey, I have nothing against the guy. He's awesome. He's helped so many people. But every time like I see someone gushing like, oh my God, I'm talking to Tony Robbins. I'm like, okay. But maybe that just makes me an idiot because it's like, yeah, they're successful. I'm not. So who am I to judge them?
I don't know. I think it's sort of like that's who you become when you start becoming so big that you're like you just attract money. It's like at some level it's like you stop being like the person Elon Musk, the person that he has to be in public to represent the corporation Elon Musk is like you it's sort of like a corporation itself is sort of a sociopathic entity. It's like it can't have the same kind of conscience and emotions and those sorts of things. So it's like when a CEO really fully embodies or their company is a representation of who they are, it's like either way, the person that you see becomes somebody that's like less likable and less recognizable as an empathetic person. And I think a lot of people struggle like separating the like, okay, so the role that they're playing and the person that they are I'm seeing different aspects of what's happening here as opposed to like, I don't know. I think probably people like Steve Jobs and Elon Musk and people who are like highly successful, they probably they probably don't make a lot of decisions based on how they feel. They probably have like algorithms and like pre-decided processes that they use when they interact with people. So it's like I've read a couple of biographies on Steve Jobs. Like whenever somebody would pitch him an idea, his immediate reaction was always be like, "That's shit. Like that's stupid." It was like that was his first filter to like force you to prove why your idea is good. So anybody who is like a time waster who's looking for approval, it's like, hey, I have this idea, and they're looking for somebody to like make them feel good. He's like, I don't have time for that. So his default reaction is like, that's shit. And for somebody to like, no, this is a good idea. I've engineered this. I've validated it. Let me show you why it works and why it's a cool thing. It's like it filters out anybody who doesn't really have something. But the people who like had a good idea, like there was a guy who found him in the elevator. And he said, hey, let me show you my magnifying. He's like, let me show you my let me show you my like little magnifying thing that I did. And he tried to describe the idea, and Steve was like, that's stupid. And so then he had to come back with like a computer and show him the graphical user interface. And it was like the little feature where you're scrolling along the bottom, and it just magnifies the dock so you can see the app icon a little bit more. The functionality of it is like you can have more icons on the bottom because it's all shrunk down, but then like when it blows it up, it makes it easier to see. And it's like, and it's kind of a cool like way to navigate the interface. But like when he demoed it, it was like, oh, that's cool, and that made it into the feature system of like one of the Mac operating systems. I think that's what happens with a lot of people who are not just assholes, but like people who are very successful by measurable metrics and they come across as jerks. I think a lot of that is like systems that you're seeing instead of seeing the person pulling the strings. And I think that's one of those things that's like at the beginning stages of business, like you don't need to do that, because like building relationships and getting the momentum of your snowball going is the important thing. But I think knowing that that's, I don't know, that's kind of been my assessment of people that people think of as assholes. It's like it's because you're looking at something that's not there. You're expecting somebody to show up a certain way. And that's not really the appropriate way to show up because they have a different context than you would.
Yeah. I have a completely unrelated question.
Yeah.
Since when does Felix live in California?
Since when does what?
Since when does Felix live in California?
Felix?
Yep. Because when you were talking about crowd scale, I went to the website and I saw like, oh, you're there like in the testimonial section, and so is Felix, and Felix is listed as living in California.
That's funny. That's hilarious. This is such an ugly land page.
That's what I was thinking in my head. I'm like, how does this even convert? Like, I guess because it's pre-qualified people, the quality of the page doesn't matter that much. But so like my initial judgment, like reaction was, I'm going to judge this because it doesn't look very professional. Yeah. But I'm like, this guy is super successful, so who am I to judge?
Yeah.
Like, this obviously works. It could work better if it was more professional, but this works. So what exactly makes this work even though it looks the way that it does?
Yeah, I think the thing that made this work is it just literally mirrored the conversations that happened with the people that joined. So this crowd scale was launched from like a hash targeting promotion that was over a couple of weeks. Basically, there was just a couple discussions, long discussion threads about like what was wrong with the coaching industry, and so they pulled out all of those things that people said, "Oh, I don't like this," or "I don't like that," or "This is the thing that I'm." This is this is so funny. Like I haven't gotten an Amber Alert for weeks, but like I made the intention not to work today, and like as we're just in like total flow, I'm like I'm getting it. What in the world this is about, but anyway, that completely derailed what I was. Oh, so this was basically just like all of session, and they talked long enough for the people who are interested in this discussion to be like, "Oh, that sounds amazing. This sounds exciting," to like get people to sell themselves and enroll themselves in the thing. So then they opened the like this page, like once you have this format, like something like we've built, once you have something created where it's like you can copy and paste and then just like fill in the gaps, because initially this stuff wasn't here. Like it was just the first section. It was like the copy that says you're not alone in business anymore, what am I registering for, and how can you crowd scale your business. Like it was just that and the video of Brian and Graham. And it wasn't even this video. It was a video of Brian and Graham like having the discussion about what was wrong with the coaching industry. But like based on that page, people signed up, and then like I did a whole bunch of crowd scale interviews with people, which is where a lot of these testimonials came from. And then like the way that they set up the pricing, and then the result video that's on here with David and Jenny. It's like David Sinclair sold out his 10 slot mastermind in 7 days. Had very little to do with crowd scale anyway. Like he was already kind of moving forward on some stuff. He joined crowd scale, happened to connect with some people in there, and like it all sort of happened around the same time. But it's like that's kind of what business is. It's just you're showing a little slice into a window of what people are doing, what people are listening to, what people are excited about, and you give people a chance to buy something. You're just letting them pick an identity, and so like that's how this page worked. It was hyper targeted to the people having those conversations, and then they really haven't done lots more promotion for it, because because there was like a lot of people were like, I'm not sure what this is and what is it going to be. It was sort of like, let's leave it alone until it gels and figures out what it's going to do. And I think they're kind of moving to phase 2 now. It's sort of like they've, instead of it being like a monthly payment model, it's like a one-time purchase. They're slowly transitioning what people pay. It's going to be like a lifetime membership to a networking thing, basically. So it's like evolving over time, really slowly. So it's like what's funny to me is that like there's no wrong way to do business. They launched this over like a few days. They got some clients in, but then they also lost like more than half the clients because it was sort of like they just launched an idea based off of what people wanted, but then nobody was really building it. Nobody was like creating fulfillment for what people thought they were buying. So of course you're going to lose people eventually. Whereas like our thing is like it is similar in the sense that we're selling what people want before we've really built anything, but we've also been kind of like building off of feedback that people have really given either on stuff that they've bought or that they've spent a significant amount of time with me, like art like articulating, and I've been helping people kind of get clear on what it is that they need. So I feel like what we're planning to deliver actually fulfills the promise of what we're selling. Anyway, you look like you're enjoying some sort of realization.
Oh yeah, because I was on Scroll, I'm like, let's compare to our funnel just for fun. And then I go on this order form, I'm like, oh shit, I never deactivated test mode. So people could buy the course for free.
That's really funny.
Uh,
Well, clearly we haven't cracked the traffic thing.
that's good.
Yeah.
I guess that's the only step I forgot to, reactivate the funnel app.
Yeah.
Kind of
I mean, there's a whole lot of like aesthetic polish things that I feel like I would do, but it's sort of like right now we just need to get people to listen to us, trust us, like, and if the idea by itself, irrespective of how the funnel looks right now, will get somebody enrolled, like I feel like then we're in good shape. So, oh, by the way, I didn't tell you, Justin is interviewing me tomorrow or tonight about how to reduce overwhelm in your business. I'm just going to go quickly through the Fund framework and talk about like I was overwhelmed in my career. I'd never taken vacation, so I trained a team. It took me a year to do it, or it took me a couple of years to do it. But like I was able to step out of the process and then take my family on vacation to Hawaii. It's like that's what I realized was possible. And then I started like making that a part of my lifestyle and like always trying to do things from a place of like, what do I not have to do? How can I make this fun? How can I give away the things that I don't know how to do or don't want to do? And so like all of that is like a great lead to like, and we're doing a training on this like tomorrow. If you want to come to that, it's like, so I'm hoping we'll get some viewership for that, but I'm going to go in all the groups that I have some influence in and invite people to watch his thing. And then it'll be like a low key pitch for like, hey, if you'd like to sign up for the free training that I'm doing on how to make your permanently fire overwhelm from your business, come to our webinar and we'll show you like how we help people do that tomorrow. So I feel like this will be a good demo for, can I get people to go to a place, sign up for a webinar, and then like actually do the presentation for people. So I guess that's why I didn't really need to do a lot of work today. I was like, I hadn't realized it until I said it just now, but like I already have everything lined up for like technically we could have like a whole bunch of people tomorrow and everything's already organized and set up for that.
And now they can actually buy.
And now they can actually buy. So I'm excited. This could be our first sales this week. And we how much work did we spend to promote this so far yet? None.
Well, I haven't done anything. You've been kind of doing work on the back end, helping people, but I haven't done anything to promote this at all, ever.
So this will be fun. This will be neat. Yeah, so I'm feeling good. About this. I'm really well, and especially since we realized that like 90 days from now is like Black Friday. It's like this week, okay, maybe that should be the goal. It's like I should do a some sort of promo event every single week to drive people to the webinar.
What if we do a racist Black Friday sale? If you're Black today, you can buy it for 50% off.
Hey, if it makes sales, it makes sales. We can call it the reparations discount. We feel so bad and guilty about our white privilege.
Yeah,
We're
the white
actually gonna give
discount.
anybody of color is gonna get like a 50% discount scholarship.
If you're
So,
white, sorry, it sucks to be you because you're one of us. To be fair, this business is super racist and sexist. Two white guys who are straight living in North America.
yeah.
It's like
So
first
in
business.
fact, now that you say that, it's like don't give us money. We don't deserve it. We have too much privilege already. Like, go start your own business. Go be a millionaire and don't give us a dime. Like, if you want a really easy way to start a business, we have a cool system called 5-minute Facebook groups. If you'd like to start a business, so actually maybe you should give us money. Anyway. Yeah, I'm trying to visualize like what could our business look like in 90 days from now? If we did a promo every single week and managed to get let's see. Between now, let's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. If we just got one client a week, if we got one person to sign up every week, that's like $12,000. So that's like $6,000 a piece.
Nice.
I feel like that's validated. I feel like that's enough. So how many people would need to see the webinar for us to get?
Oh, dude, that would be perfect. 12 people, one group.
Oh yeah, that would be perfect. It'd be and if it's like one person at a time, it gives enough space for us to kind of give them some kind of personal attention, really help them assess like where do you need to focus and get started first, like if they need some extra help with just clarifying their offer or their marketing. Dang. And then if it's a matter of so if I did one-on-one calls with people and showed them the presentation. Well, Marcus has a group of people that he's been. Let me see. Who all is in Marcus's group? Does he have any activity there? Barbers. Barber. Or shortcuts. Bigger brands. 28 members. That's like 25 people. 9 comments. He's starting to get some traction. Okay, I'm just thinking. I'm thinking here. Think.
Thinking about what?
I think I have an idea. I wonder how group owners would feel about So we have a course, a 5-week course that shows you how to start a Facebook group and grow a community in 5 minutes a day. We will white label this as a product that you can add to your coaching or business marketing services. So for any of your clients who have an interest in building a community, this is like, it adds 5 minutes a day, 5 minutes a day to their, routine, or they can hand it to their VA. It's a great like value add to them. So I wonder if, so what you would do is like, you don't have to pay us to white label this. Like, you can add this to your services for free as a value add that you provide to your clients. And the way that you can validate or find out if your clients want this is let us pitch in your group. Let us do a presentation, see if we can sell a few people into this program. And if people buy, it means your people are interested in something like this. We will give it to you to install in your business. And so then we can get more people into the program, more people familiar with us. So anybody that's in their program could potentially be on our client list. It's like, so obviously the course itself is
like,
valuable information, but
I understand how this works for the pre-recorded version, but since this is live, how would that work? Because if you get everyone in and they don't pay, and you have to do all the work, I don't understand the logic.
Yeah, no, it wouldn't be for the live version. I'm just thinking,
okay,
like, once we have the pre-recorded thing as an asset, where it's like it's hands off, it's like they have their own assignments, they have their own like assessment type things, where we don't have to do any work for fulfillment. It becomes something that like at low cost or no cost to the group owner, they could add as a service, but then we are essentially getting access to all of the people in their paid program. So it's like if anybody signs up to our thing through their paid program, it's like we just got a new lead that is paying for high ticket services. And then like any kind of email marketing that we do, any kind of new offers that we do, it's like we're adding people that we don't have to work to get, and we've already helped them like potentially launch a group. I mean, if they sign up through our things, like they have some interest in, well, we'll help you launch your group in 30 minutes, that sort of thing. Maybe just like a simple. Maybe we could come up with a mini course that is that free thing for group owners, and then we do like the 5-minute Facebook groups is like an affiliate deal. It's like we come into your group, we sell it, but any sales you get like a little cut of it. So it's like you don't have to do any work and you can make money off of your group by putting a little different offer in front of them. But if we offered so the idea was like launch your group in 30 minutes, guaranteed. It's like if you had a mini course on how to write an offer post and how to write your story, like your sexy story. It's like I'm not trying to teach you what business you're in, but if you already have an established business and established offer, it's like do these two things so that you have the asset you need to launch your group in 30 minutes. And it's like, here's the resources for you to get a community up and off the ground in like less than an hour. And like that could be a free thing you could give to group owners as like a resource. Because the paid programs that I've been in, and there's a lot of places that like they have one little brief mention or module where it's like, yeah, you need to start a Facebook group, and they don't even really talk much about like how to do it, like the technical parts of like getting it set up. They don't talk about why you need to do it. They don't talk about how to build a community. They just like, you need a Facebook group for your business. And it's like, great. What do I do now? And so you see all these groups that have like, 30 people, 100 people, 500 people, and like they're not really doing anything with it. Anyway, I think that might be one of the things that I chip away at for our Black Friday promo. It's like we do a promo that targets community, like people who have community and group owners. It's like we have this amazing Black Friday resource that you can white label and use in your business today to attract more leads. It's like lots of people are interested in community, having community or offering better community in their business. We have a resource that helps you do that and helps you show people how to create that without any overwhelm. We show you exactly what to do. You can get it launched in less than an hour, and we are experts at supporting that. So like that could be like a really cool way to get it attention and provide some free value for people who have audiences, and then reach out, be like, hey, if you think this is valuable to your audience, like we have a course showing people how to run a community in 5 minutes a day. We would love to pitch this to your group, and if we sell anybody into the program, you get a cut. You don't have to do any work and you can make money. But if this offer is something that would help your people, our program would probably help your people too, and we can partner together and help you make money. And it would be like a fast way to do like a Black Friday promo. Done for you, Black Friday promo. It's like, how'd you like to make some extra money for Black Friday this November without doing any work? And then, I mean, if we have the like, here's exactly what to do. It's like you need to do these steps, or have your VA do these steps to like give us access in your group to be able to go live. Add this plugin that allows us to do like a restream kind of thing, and then we could just schedule like, it's like, okay, we're gonna do this presentation at these times. So then we could push it out to multiple groups and not have to do it like live for everybody, or we could do it for like each individual community. I don't know. That would be interesting.
Yeah, I think this is leaning back into what we're talking about maybe like a month ago.
Mm-hmm.
Almost 2 months ago, like a month and a half ago, when we're like, what is the irresistible offer for the group, for the person who has it?
Yeah.
We kind of forgot all about that because we're like, all right, let's get this done. And now we're like, oh yeah, we can go back to that now.
Yeah. I mean, it's kind of like we didn't really have anything but the theoretical idea then, but now we have something that's like, here's our business, here's our thing, here's who we help, here's who can benefit the best by this. It's like if you have a group full of people where that's something that you aren't doing but would like to offer something kind of in that space for your people, it's like this is an easy way to do that and help them by inviting us in, like lending some of your credibility to introduce us, and you know, you get a big cut of whatever we do. It's like we'll do all the work. We'll sell them into the program, get people excited about it. I mean, heck, if you want to like co-present or like be on the live, it's like maybe you'll get excited about it too, and like people can feed off of that. You might be like, oh, I need this for my business, which we'd be happy to like get you in on it. I feel like we just need to talk to a couple of group owners to figure out like how would they want the offer pitched and positioned so that it would be like a hell yeah kind of offer for them. And then it's like they're the ones with the leads, with the audience, and then it's just a matter of like, maybe we do like a warm-up sequence where we hand them, here's some content that you can like introduce us, like, hey, I met these cool guys, they're going to do this thing, hey, tomorrow we're going to have a set, hey everybody, today's the day, like we're really excited, like they're going to show you how to remove overwhelm from your business and start out a rad community. Yeah, if you made it like stupid easy for people to implement and like reap the benefit.
Maybe just make it easy. We'll take care of the stupid part.
Yeah. There you go. All right. Well, I got half an hour. What random stupid things can we?
Ooh, I like this challenge.
What is the stupidest thing we could challenge ourselves to in the next 30, 40 minutes?
Yeah, I think we're trying too hard. So let's just fart it out. I mean, float it out.
We could try softer. We're trying too hard, so.
Well, that's easy for me to do.
We got someone signed up for our webinar.
Is it me?
Nope.
Is it you?
No, we just now got like an actual sign up.
Do you recognize who it is?
I don't. 2 out of 12 spots filled. Well, one of them's me. Etienne Laberte from therightdecision.co. Interesting.
Okay, because, dude, it's funny because in ClickFunnels you have the option to, like, automatically it's going to share it with Google, so it's searchable. Mm-hmm. And like, I'm like, okay, obviously for the registration page, there's no downside to have that. So I just left it active. So maybe it's some random person who's just searching for something on Google, came across that and signed up.
Well,
anywhere, no one aside from us has the link.
Actually, that's not true. Justin scheduled an event, and one of the things that he asked me for was like, do you have any free value besides the conversation we're going to have that you would like to offer people? And so the last thing I put was like, well, hey, we're doing a free training on how to reduce overwhelm in your business. If you'd like to see how we help people, you can sign up here by going to 5-minute Facebook groups. So he put the link in the description for this talk that we're going to have this evening. So somebody must have like seen the thing and be like, oh, let me click on that. And interesting.
That's funny.
That is. So it's like we're doing barely any work. And I mean, we've done a crap ton of work, but it's like we have it all built, and now it's just like it's that old saying of like, you build it, they'll come. It's like you create the container and it just gets like the rainwater starts filling it up.
Or the the porn version, if you jack it, he will come.
I just watched
Really cool.
Noah last night. The Darren Aronofsky film with Russell Crowe, and
Okay.
it's like the movie itself is really not about the biblical story of Noah. I mean, it uses that as like a backdrop, but I felt like that was a scene. There was a moment where like they had built this ark, and then it was like all of the animals started coming in. The first day, it was like the birds showed up. It's like they all just kind of swirled around the ark, and then they all just kind of flew in and like started filling up all of the cavities where they had built spaces for birds. And that's the thing that I was thinking about was that quote from Field of Dreams. Like, if you build it, they will come. It's like if you are creating a business, if you're creating a vehicle where you can receive money, it's like you just need the container. And once you've done it, like that's the way you tell the universe, I'm ready to receive some money. And then it starts filling up slowly, but then you become more efficient at like learning how to drive that vehicle. But I think in some sense it's like we're done. Like we've created the thing. Now I mean now we do have to like deliver the course and actually fulfill on the thing we promised people we would help them with. But like that's kind of a formality at this point.
That's funny how we haven't done anything. It's like, oh, we got some.
Yeah. Okay, so now what I want to do is like we need to figure out what is the follow-up sequence for because there's a lot of places that's like you sign up for a webinar, but you'll get a sequence that's like, hey, if you're looking for help right now, here is what our offer is. And if you want to look at it, you can go here. And like if they're ready to sign up like right now, it's like people can buy before they even get on the webinar. So we probably need to set up okay, this is the task. It's like I need to set up the follow-up emails for the webinar in Calendly. I need to learn how to do that and do that today or this week or something. It's like I guess if people don't get a reminder, if it just goes on their calendar, great. If not, it's like it's 1-2 people at the beginning. It's like we'll get to it, but that is something that I think if we fix that right here at the beginning, like that'll be one more thing, one more way that we can help people just like kind of follow through on the thing they said they were interested in.
Okay.
But then the next thing is like, so if they've signed up for the webinar, the next thing they should get is like, hey, we're experts at helping people build community. And if you are interested in getting your community launched right now, it's like, if you have this, 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 and this, you can launch a group right now. Join our community right here. It's like maybe that's the next thing. It's like get them into the launch a group in 30 minutes, and then they can like kind of select. And it's like if they're ready to take action, if they're going, it's like they could do the like the week 0 assignments and stuff before they even get into the course or buy in the thing.
That reminds me, you should create a post in that group with the link to sign up to the webinar.
Yes, we have an offer now. All right.
I think what could be fun in this process is setting up milestones. So it's like, all right, we made 3 sales. Let's upgrade to the next version of ClickFunnels, and I'll start setting up the autoresponder on the back. And then we can create the affiliate program once we upgrade because that unlocks. So it's like if we have milestones, it's like, all right, 3 sales, that's the next step. And after that, like 5 sales or 10 sales or whatever that is, like hit milestones, like that's the next thing we need to do.
Yeah. Okay. So I have one amendment to that. We are both in the space of like we'd like to be making money, and I think we're moving into that, like that's going to happen. And I also see that we're not going to quit working. Like this is exciting. It's like we're going to figure out how do we make this more efficient and work better. So it's like more money is going to come in. I think we need to establish right away a routine of whenever we hit a new level, we need to celebrate that and affirm that thing. It's like because like I've seen people do this this hustle chase where it's like they're like, well, I can't pay myself yet. Like I need to keep investing in the business, and they keep growing and growing and growing, and never like it's that kind of miser sort of like hoarding type mentality. And I think we need to set some baselines of like whenever we hit a certain goal or milestone, like we need to have some sort of reward that's like, I don't know, you go out to eat or you buy a cool toy or something that's not an investment, but it's like a good job. Like, let's do more of that.
Okay, I like it. I think you're right. There should be a celebration and a new like challenge.
Yeah. Yes. We need to like, right. You raise the bar.
Yeah, what if celebration is just like, okay, we hit that milestone, let's just take a day and do like a normal floating session. So it's like, and we get, knowing us, if we come up with like a stupid name, like, I don't know. I'm like something with poop. Like poop day, rest day, I don't know. Poop party. But I think, yeah, if we do that, if we just take like every time we hit a milestone, it's like, all right, let's take a day off and just celebrate, have fun.
Hey, you want to be a party pooper and poop out a party?
Right. Yes. So we have poop parties. So we're party poopers.
Oh man. Dude, our poor customers, like we're gonna get on a thing one day. It's like, yeah, we have poop parties every time we cross a milestone.
We're really shitty friends.
Oh man,
It's the crappiest business we've ever done. But it's funny how you're like, we need to celebrate, and today we just hit our first milestone.
that's true. We got our first webinar sign up. That's amazing.
So I guess next milestone would be first sale.
Okay, here is a bona fide story that we can tell in the webinar. It's like, okay, you might think that we're doing some sort of weird marketing maneuver, trying to position doing less work when you're actually doing more. But like, let me give you an example. When we're launching this course, I actually came and I said, I don't want to do any work today. I want to just like talk and do the thing that we're really good at. We create from our imaginations. We create from like our friendship. And so we didn't do any work at all. And as we were talking, I got a notification on my phone that told me I was in flow. I'm not going to go into that story, but like I got some confirmation from my own personal process that I'm doing the right thing in my business. And then later in that conversation, I got a webinar sign up from somebody that's outside of our network that we do not know, signed up for our webinar. So we got a prospect that we weren't trying to get. We haven't even really promoted anything yet, and we got a lead. So we're telling you, having fun in your business and working less is how we create results. I can't tell you exactly how that works, but we can tell you what you need to do less in your business. And all we can say is like, this has worked for us. It's gotten us in front of millions of people. It's gotten other people in front of millions of people when I'm helping them. And like this is how we're growing our business, by doing less and having more fun. I mean, maybe that's the story right there for the offer post. It's like, if you want to see exactly what our business is that helps you like remove overwhelm, click here and you can register for this webinar.
Yeah. Also, it's funny because I like names. I like to come up with catchy, clever names. And I was like, okay, what can we call like, the poop party? I'm like, well, combine poop and party where it's poopy. So every milestone we have, we throw a poopy.
We really are just monkeys. All right. We just hit a milestone
Oh.
in business. We're gonna go throw a poopy.
That is so random. This girl that I matched with like last month, a couple days before I came here, and then we've been talking and went on a date last week. She was sick. Anyway, she just messaged me, and what she messaged was so random that I'm like, oh, Aaron's gonna love this. So what she messaged is, I need to go to the supermarket. I need toothpaste and dental floss, and I want dye for my hair. Ha ha ha! Not redhead. Okay. Oh my god. They just keep coming. Ha ha ha. But it's just like the supermarket and the toothpaste, which is so random. I'm like, what?
That's so funny.
Uh, and the funny thing is, with this girl, like, the more I learn, the more I'm like, this is not gonna work. Because like, it takes her a very long time to get comfortable with people, and like, she can't even tell me if she likes me or not. Like, it seems pretty obvious from what she's saying and what she's doing, but she simply cannot say it. And I'm like, I can't stick around like a year to see what might happen.
Yeah.
And it's like, the more I find out, the more like it's not going to work. It's like, for me, touch is very important. That's how I connect and communicate with someone. And for her, she's like, yeah, it was awkward when you like, touched me during the day. And I'm like, okay. It's like, the more I learn, the more I'm like, yeah, this is like, we're so not a good fit. But I'm like, I don't know what'll happen.
Ask her if she wants to come to your poopy tomorrow. Oh man, that makes me happy.
Poopy makes me happy.
All right, now I want to Google this person.
Do we have to? Is this a good or a dumb idea? Every time we hit a new milestone, we celebrate, but in a more insane way. It's like, all right, first sign up to webinar is one thing. Sign up for sale is a slightly better thing, and then like first 10K is an even better thing. First 100K or whatever. It's like every milestone we hit should be like better and more extravagant. It's just like, hey, like when we hit 1 million, let's just like, I don't know, throw a party for like our soul family or whatever. It's just like, I think we should slowly escalate the intensity of the parties.
Yeah, I've never met this dude. I'm not even friends with him.
That's the coolest, when you just randomly sell something to someone you don't know. You're like, who is this person? Why did they buy this?
Yeah. Okay. Well, I mean, we have a legit thing now. Should we figure out what kind of like, or is this even necessary? Like, okay, let's talk. Let's talk this out. Go ahead.
Is that like, should we start small and work our way up and just be like, fuck it, just go all in?
Well, yeah, that's what I was wondering. It's like, do you think Facebook banners with like a resource or an offer are useful in generating leads, or do you think they push more people away? Or do they just push people away who are used to lots of marketing?
You mean like on our personal profiles?
Yeah.
I think that depends. I think if all you do is put the banner, your friends are just going to be like, okay, whatever, like, I'm not going to click on it. Who gives a crap? But if you're interacting in a lot of groups and providing value and creating content, people are going to go to your profile, they're going to see that, and that could create leads. Like the banners itself are pointless unless you're doing the work to attract people to your profile.
Right. So it's like it can be a tiny like credibility builder when it's like, oh, it's in integrity with the other stuff that you're doing, but the banner itself isn't like particularly a lead generator. It's just like,
Yeah,
oh, that's what that guy's about. Okay, that makes sense given what all the other stuff I've seen of them.
but it's more like a mechanism because people won't randomly go to your profile. But if they go to your profile from a business group and you have that offer of like, hey, I attend the free training teaching you how to reach millions of people free in 5 minutes per day,
Yeah.
then that gives them an option to enter your world. Like in itself, it's not going to do anything, but if there's traffic, then it will do something.
Yeah.
So it's like in my case, since I'm not really the one, I'm not really the face of the business. So for me, there's no point really right now doing this, unless like we decide that's our strategy. Let's both go into a group, provide value, and that then it would be worth it. But for me, for now, not really. In your case, since you're more interacting with people, could be worth it.
All right. Well, I'll have to figure out like, I wonder what would be. I wonder if I could make the engage. I should do that. Okay. I've been trying to figure out like who. I'll just ask all the people that have been helping of all the people who have groups with actual people interacting, if they want me to do a training on engagement, and I'll redo my engagement masterclass as more a little bit more in line with our messaging, and use that as another funnel. But you like have that set up as like a $7 or like $17 or $27 masterclass or something. It's like, hey, need more engagement? Click here to get my like my masterclass on engagement or something. And then, or like trying to build community. It's like, here's my engagement firestorm that I use to, engage people in all of my groups and, teach other people how to, I don't know, maybe something like that where it's like a real clear, oh, this is what you're getting, and it's like a low cost type thing. I guess there's all kinds of experiments we could run. Maybe that's what we should do. It's like,
now that we've created the funnel, it's like, all right, how do we get people in?
Yeah.
Also, I'm realizing this is a really crappy poopy.
But I think that's the next step. Actually, I'm going to focus more on the webinar right now over the next couple weeks, just getting people in front of the webinar. Because what I want to do is I want to redo that engagement masterclass as a sort of sneak webinar. It's sort of like, I'm going to structure it the same way that we've structured the webinar, where it doesn't feel like you've bought a product that's just trying to sell you another product, because I've bought plenty of those, and it's like, there are lots of people who do it kind of really sloppy. But it's like where you very openly talk about, well, I have another program. This is what it does. And like this step that you're doing right now is really important for you to do in your business, because in that whole model, this is how it works. And so it's just helping people understand that like the identity that they're buying into. And if you're doing the masterclass, like you start giving them language for the other things that could come next for them, and then do more of an inception or like kind of a sneaky, kind of like telling all the stories or the emotional points that you hit in the webinar without any calls to action or without any like, now don't you want this thing, or it's like, do you guys have any questions, like those sorts of stuff. So if I can hit the emotional beats while teaching them about engagement, and then it's like if it's something that they want at some point, it's like I've already kind of pre-positioned them for that, and then either in like email follow-ups or like in promo posts and stuff. Like it makes it a really easy stepping stone if they've already bought something, if they've already moved forward or something.
Okay. Two things came up, and no, they're not my fingers. I said two things. I'm like, oops, those are two things. That's not what I was talking about. Yeah, no, I completely.
Like Wolverine, but like one of his claws are broken off.
Oh yeah, one thing that came up was like, it's gonna be so funny when you give the webinar and I'm not there, and like there's a slide like introducing me. This is my business partner. Well, he's not here right now, but this is what you would need to know about him if he was here.
Let me do Guillaume's voice. He's my
Actually,
silent partner. So the reason
do
what's
a
that?
webinar if the other person isn't there, and we're just like, all right, I'm gonna play both roles tonight. It'd be especially funny if I do it because like I'm not the expert when it comes to, community. They're not my stories. So it's like, let me tell you Aaron's story.
That would be a really fascinating experiment. It's like having somebody else tell the stories versus, the person that happened to. I don't know, like how does that change the perception of, like, I'm just curious what that would be like. You don't really see that
I'm wondering,
happen really. So I'm not sure.
should we try this at some point? Because it's the principle of selling someone else. So what if like we just readjusted the webinar where it's like every time it's about me, you're the one talking. Every time it's about you, I'm the one talking. We just like flip everything.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know for stories if it would work, but it could be an interesting experiment.
Okay. Here's a question. What would you say is easier? Writing a book in a month or writing a book over like however long it took you to write some of the like earlier books?
I don't know. It's very difficult because part of me is like, I enjoy a challenge. I prefer doing something very quickly and condensed rather than stretching it out. But there were days where it was overwhelming and I was exhausted and I hated the process. And I'm like, I just want to die. Well, okay, maybe not that much.
Mm-hmm.
But then the other way, it's like, I've tried doing it in a month in the past and failed. And it's just like that sensation of, oh, I should have done more work today.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of like nags at you.
Mm-hmm.
Like both ways, it's difficult just in a different way. So I really don't know what I would say is more difficult or easier.
Mm-hmm.
Why?
I'm kind of formulating the gem of an idea here. I'm wondering if there's
Actually, hold on. There's definitely something to do with challenge because you mentioned this challenge today.
Mm-hmm.
My friend yesterday mentioned the walking challenge. He's like, why did you do it?
Mm-hmm.
That's two people in 2 days mentioning two different challenges. That seems too challenging for me to believe it's a coincidence.
All right, so
Should we do a poopy challenge? Or maybe, a sales challenge?
I think there's something interesting that you said is sometimes it's easier to do things from the lens of a challenge than just doing it because you should do it. Even though in the context of a challenge, you're actually making things more difficult. Why do you think that is for you?
I think it's the level of clarity that you get, the restriction of option, because you're like, I'm doing this challenge. Either I succeed or fail. It's not like, oh, I want to hit this milestone, so I can do it now, or I can do it later. I can work part of the day, I can work the entire day. Whereas this, it's like, you do it or you don't. It's simple. And I think for me, like, that's the thing. I get overwhelmed when there's too much choice, too much freedom, which is why I've always been kind of attracted to how would life be like in solitary confinement? Just because that seems like, I don't know, a challenge of like, this is me, no distractions, nothing to do, just me.
Yeah.
Closest I can get to that when I challenge is like, all right, you have 24 hours, your goal is to walk 100 kilometers. You don't need to think about anything else. That is all you need to worry about. Like, even though you're adding pressure, it removes every single other pressure.
Yeah. Okay. So
ooh, what if we do a reverse challenge? Just like, we're not allowed to do anything else. We're not allowed to change anything in the business until we make X amount of sales.
okay, I like that. I also think, what if we did a challenge for ourselves? I'm wondering, could you construct a challenge for me to complete in like Engagement Firestorm as well as the course? Like, it's like maybe do one thing at a time, but it's like, here is it's like in 5 days, let's do all of the course, because it's like, and maybe that's ambitious, but because we still have to like plan and organize. I mean, it's not just doing the task and recording it, but it's like I have to kind of plan, like, what is the stuff that they really need to do and understand, and what do I need to strip away. So I do have to kind of build a little bit, not as much, but like even if I did, like, you only have this amount of time, so whatever you need to do to get it done.
Okay, remember when we're first creating the outline for the course in the beginning, and we talked about like everything's structured in 5 minutes, but there are certain things you need to do that take longer, and we're talking about doing sprints. That's how we challenge ourselves. We do sprints.
Yeah.
And then we can incorporate things of like milestones, but instead of like, oh, we need to do this once we hit that milestone, it's like, we're not allowed to do that until we hit that milestone. So instead of like, oh, I need to do that, it's like, I can finally do that once we finally get to that milestone.
Yeah.
So it's like, all right, we know that challenge is coming. When we hit 5 sales, we need to do that one thing. It's like, I just want to do it. I want to get it out of the way. I want to accomplish this. It's like, let's just get those 5 sales as quickly as we can so we can do this, get it over with, and move on.
Okay. I like that. So, all right. So I think what we need to do right now is the actual course. Like, I could do and build out with our existing Facebook group, the launch your group in 30 minutes. Because we have an offer now, or maybe I need to just write the offer. But like we have the offer for the webinar. Like I can start building out the course material and really figure out like what does it take to like communicate in 5 minutes? Here's what you need to do. Because I did some of those videos like in that group, I sort of winged it, and it was like it turned out fine. But I'd like it to be. I mean, and it honestly doesn't matter, but like I'd like it to be a little bit more on purpose and more polished.
Oh crap! I just realized we need to finish building out the Business Best Friends Mastermind group.
True.
No banner. There's nothing really set up in there yet.
Yeah. You know what we need is onboarding materials of like. I mean, maybe that stuff is in the course, but I've noticed that people need their hands held of like, go here to this link, sign up for the like, join this group, or you kind of need to walk them through every single step and have like those resources kind of super in front of them. And like if the whole purpose of this course is like reduce overwhelm, like that's one thing I absolutely want to have is like ridiculously clear instructions of here's how you need to get up to speed. Like I want virtually nobody asking for technical support in this thing. It needs to be so easy and obvious that they know how to like they can do it and there's very little resistance because that's kind of what we're promising a little bit. I mean, yeah, it's just okay. So things to do. The email follow-ups for the webinars. The onboarding material once they sign up. We've already done the test signups. So I'm gonna go look at my emails and see what kind of stuff is automatically generated when you join the program and see like, do we need to set up any additional like, hey, if you haven't gotten into the thing, like here's how to do it, here's where blah blah blah.
Our funnel is set up. It's like there's a set up step by step. So once they confirm the order, they go to the order page. There's a video. It's like, hey, click on the button below, go create your members area. Watch the video at the top of the members area. In the members area, I give them a tour, explain everything. It's like, go to the Business Best Friends Mastermind group, click on the link below, request join access. What we're missing is the selling story or sexy story training for the mastermind group. And I also need a copy of that video in order to add to the members area.
Okay.
I just realized that's what we need that thing to launch, because as soon as people purchase, they unlock the ability to request access to join. And we can't accept, like, we can't allow them to join the group until they had that set up.
Yeah.
I guess that's what we need. Like the engagement Firestorm, that can wait. Like it doesn't need to be unlocked right now. So that would be the most important thing. I'm going to go ahead and create a Facebook, like a group, a banner for the Facebook group. So I don't know, maybe today or tomorrow, whenever you have time. If you like, do you have everything you need in order to create that training for the selling story? Story, or whatever you want to call that. I just realized that's something that we missed.
Yeah, I've got the I've got the bare bones of what I need to to teach a video like that. Let me see, what time is it? I need to get going. All right, let me make a little checklist of stuff that I'm needing to do. Well, I know what my sprint. I know what my sprint is going to be for this week. We've got a bunch of stuff to do still. Okay. Well, I'm glad we did this because I feel like, you know, before I was like, "Hey, we're done," and now I'm like, "No, we're not done."
It's good because I completely forgot about that part. Yeah, so I guess today I'm going to go create the banner for the Facebook group, send that to you over once it's done. That way you can upload it. Aside from that, all we need is the training. Like a post pinned at the top, like here's a training. I don't think we really need much more in the group just yet.
Yeah, okay, so sexy story training video.
Yeah, so once that's done, just send it to me or actually upload it to Vimeo. And then I'll be able to add it to the members area.
Okay, do you know, like when do we need that done?
Ideally before we make the first sale, because once they purchase, they get access to the members area. If they go to the Business Best Friends Mastermind tab,
Okay.
in the video, I'm like, hey, click the link below to go request access. Also, the training is like appears on the left of here. And you just go click on that to watch it. So
Okay.
it's like, if they go to the members area and listen to that, they're going to be like, what, where's, like, what's going on? So that's number one priority.
Okay.
Well, that wasn't exactly a very fun poopy. Just wondering what tomorrow morning, even if I do have a date which has not been confirmed, so it's not looking very positive, we could hop on if it's easier, kind of like.
Say that again.
I will have time tomorrow morning if it's easier for you to like hop on a call to kind of talk it out and figure out what you need to do for the training.
Oh, yeah. So for the training, I think for the webinar and for the training, it should be good. Tomorrow, if we do have time, I would like to work through, let's see here. The GrowthWorks thing that I've been using to generate the like campaign resource stuff. There's some questions on here that I'd like for us to kind of brainstorm through, because there's a sheet that I didn't fill out that if step, my product roadmap. Okay, so that's not the campaign here. Avatar outcome, problems, message.
Like, we can definitely do that, but I feel like number one priority right now needs to be this training. Because once we have it, people can start buying, and everything's ready aside from the engagement firestorm, but that's fine. Like we can always upload it after.
Well, it's hard to explain, but like this is, yeah, I can catch you up later. I need to get going because Sarah needs the car. So,
Okay.
all right, we got a lot of stuff to chip away before Thursday. Cool.